All right, everybody, welcome in. How are you? Welcome to eclipse season. We just had a new moon over the weekend, 0 degrees of Virgo, that really kind of opened the portal door. Okay, so it's in Virgo, and we're going to have a full moon in Pisces the 7th of September. We're going to have another new moon in Virgo at the end of September, September 21st at 29 degrees. So you can see the kind of bookending here. Even though this last new moon was not an eclipse, it does open the door to a cycle. Astrology is all about cycles. If you want to learn about that, you can join my astrology class that's kicking off in October. I'm going to teach you all about 2026 and how to harness the energy of that, and then opening up some foundational course material for you so you can really wrap your arms around astrology and use it for your best and highest good. All right, so the link to that is below. But right now I want to talk about eclipses and what does it actually mean. All right, so I'm just going to read this to you. Eclipse season happens when the sun is within 17 degrees of the moon's north node or south node. And it happens twice a year. So when it's within 17 degrees of the north node or south node. So the south node right now is Virgo. North node is Pisces. That Pisces full moon is going to be the end of its own cycle, right? We have a Pisces new moon during Pisces season, and then 6 months later it closes out. And same goes for Virgo new moons. Now, I just told you about 2 Virgo new moons that are happening. So that's why I feel this eclipse season has some special relevance for the themes that are in your life that are around Virgo and Pisces, right? We all have every sign in our chart, whether or not we have a lot of planets in there, it's still there. And right now we have the North Node in Pisces, like I said, and South Node in Virgo. So North Node in Pisces is about your spiritual mission and purpose. And a lot of the change that can be activated in these eclipse seasons with those 2 signs being activated and that North Node being activated really has to do with you embracing your connections to spirit, your connections to God, your connection, your higher self, learning how to meditate, the reason for that is this season can bring about major transformational changes. And, the South Node in Virgo is really saying, hey, this is how I used to do things every single day. These are my routines, very Virgo. This is my system. You're seeing systems dissolve right now. That's also the kind of the domain of Saturn and Neptune, which are both in retrograde, moving backward into Pisces right now. So things are dissolving. Old structures are dissolving. You can harness the energy of this eclipse season by really leaning into your spirituality, by really embracing the idea, this is like an oxymoron a little bit, embracing the idea that you need to let something go, even though it was a major structure in your life. All right, let's get into the reading here. So just keep that in mind if you're interested in, moving out of, if you have felt like, oh, I'm stuck, or, I'm not sure, how to, figure out the next step in my life. Sometimes it's really helped me for many, many years, embrace the astrological energy that is and go toward that instead of trying to kind of force something that isn't energetically making its presence known yet. Like, use what you got, use what's in front of you. Oh my gosh, look at this. Full moon, air. There's growth and divinity, connecting more to divinity. This is really about meditation. This is about doing more that is going to bring you clarity. And I just feel like there might be, for some of you, there are patterns that are happening right now again, and you're kind of seeing them now. Like, honestly, like you won't be able to unsee it. When you see that, oh, wow, this is a thing. Like, look at, if you hear someone talking about, I feel like there's a lot of wonderful people who talk about different psychological issues on YouTube. They give of their time and attention. Dr. Ramani is one of those people, Patrick Tian, Richard Grannon, Sam Vaknin. Like, those people really are providing an amazing service to help you understand patterns. Like, oh, wow, I didn't realize. And, actually, these problems are more common than you think. Like, I feel like sometimes when you're having difficulty in a relationship or of any kind, it can feel very isolating. Like, I feel like I'm alone. But if anything, this last 8 years doing general readings what that has taught me is how much we are all connected. It blows my mind that 20,000 Geminis have a resonance for a reading. It may be a very nuanced. Each person has a different take on it, which is also incredible. But like, think about that. And I never would have thought that true, but it's sort of like that's what Spirit is showing me as I'm doing these readings, that for any of you who are going through something, who feel very isolated, you are not alone. Truly. I mean, I cannot stress that enough, that I'm really seeing the patterns and I'm seeing how common things are. And I don't mean to be like, oh, you're so common. I mean that, like, hey, there's strength in that. Because I feel like when we feel isolated, then there's just sort of this sense of like desperation can kick in, or a feeling of no one gets me, no one sees me, like low vibe, downward spiral kind of stuff can happen. So I just want you to know that you're seen, you're heard. Other people have similar issues to yours. It's not that unique or special, in a good way. Okay, in a good way. So underneath is the 5 of Wands. Oh yeah, 10 of Swords. There it is. And there's the conflict. All right, can I do this? Conflict, and the 10 of Swords is called ruin. In most decks, this is like the ending of a situation that was long, bringing a lot of problems or pain to your life. And there's nothing after the 10 of Swords. Like 10 of Swords is like the finality of it. And it's like bringing in the next chapter. Page of Pentacles, I'm learning. Knight of Swords and the 8 of Pentacles. Oh, I love it. I'm taking the 9 of Pentacles here too. And the Queen of Pentacles. This is about self-care, self-worth, like really understanding like, oh, wow, something is a commonality. There's a lot of people who have families like this. There are a lot of people who have relationships like this. If it wasn't true, you wouldn't see Richard Grannon's getting videos getting 1 million views. Sam Vaknin's getting 3 million views. Like, you wouldn't really see that because it wouldn't resonate with people. And then why would you be watching it? So take that as comfort. Okay. Take that as a warning and as comfort that it is something that's very common. And so when you're waking up to this full moon in Pisces is kind of saying, I'm starting to wake up to this level of growth in my life where I can actively put my learning and my anger. Knight of Swords. Sometimes anger is a very motivating force. I was talking about that with Colleen yesterday, that anger says like, get up and do something. Earlier this year, we had an eclipse in Aries, a new moon in Aries. And that was sort of like the anger that's propelling these major transcendent changes that will be happening throughout this next month and beyond. Like, you may just see the events this month, may have already happened. Right here. Yup. I'm right here with you. And it may have already happened, or it's about to happen. And like, what to do with it is like, oh, wow, I see that something is over, or I see that something has had an angry ending. And what am I learning from that? I'm learning that, was there ever going to be a different kind of ending to that would allow you your sovereignty, your freedom, to be seen, to be, growing, was there ever going to be anything different? And I feel like for a lot of you, the only thing that makes it different is how you then eventually learn from it and take care of yourself and heal from it. And the only way to heal from it is to allow it to end. You can't heal inside of a situation, especially if codependency is part of that situation. Like, I want to do something for myself, but I don't actually want to stand up for myself, right? I don't actually want to have this conflict or whatever. And it's like, I don't really think that's possible. The North Node in Pisces says, lean into your connection to God. Recognize that you have this power. We all do. And so when I say things are common or not unique, it's not meant to diminish them. It's meant to just show you that how widespread this is and to help you feel, take comfort in that. All right. So let's see, there's the 10 of Wands. All right. I see we're on a little journey here of tens. The 2 of Wands, 8 of Wands. So the 2 of Wands is called dominion, and there's oppression here with this 10 of Wands. This feels like there's a situation that is really holding you back, and you're being pushed by spirit, by your growth path, by your North Node path, right? If you want to learn more about your spiritual calling or your mission, there's a course down below you can avail yourself of as well immediately. The 8 of Wands here is about things coming in, or something suddenly may happen that kind of forces you to, not deflect, forces you to take a stand or stand up for yourself, speak your truth, right? 8 of Wands is very much about speaking the truth. 7 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands, victory, and success, the 6 of Pentacles. So look at the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're doing this. So 7 of Pentacles is how much time have I invested in this oppression, in this codependency? How much time have I let, how long do you want to spend in this before? And I feel like the answer to that is directly proportional to the level of hope where they think people will change. And if people are committed to anger, committed to not changing, committed to no accountability, no vulnerability, nothing like that, then not changing. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here, because I just feel like some of us have really kept hope alive for a really long time. And, it's just like, what proof do you have that this person's ever going to change? Okay. So you don't. 5 of Cups, there's loss, 7 of Swords, and the Hierophant. So the Hierophant here, which is really interesting, it's the only major arcana card in this reading. And those of you who are learning about tarot, that's significant, right? The Hierophant is about tradition. And it's kind of like, what in this tradition of keeping this hope alive is a lie? 7 of Swords. What is a lie? And like, you kind of have to, if you're going to embrace this energetic portal that we're in, it's basically you need to be as clear as possible. So not every single one of you watching this or even resonating with some of this, these messages or this energy are going to have the same situation. Not every one of you is going to have a toxic relationship in your life, but some of you are going to have something, but most of you, the rest of you, are going to resonate with that around the idea that there's something that isn't moving in my life, and it's time for me to kind of address it. And there's something here about, all due respect to Taurus, right? Taurus is great with about security and safety. But if that was the reason to stay, I feel like that's a lie. I feel like there's no real security or safety in this if there's no change or growth, if there's anger, if there's rage, if there's oppression, right? There's no real growth in that. 6 of Swords, another 6. Ace of Pentacles. Temperance, there you are, Archangel Michael, and the Ace of Cups coming in. So this really says that for some of you, the way forward is really to just radical acceptance of a certain situation. And I feel like you've worked on this. I'm speaking to those of you who have worked on something for a really long time. and are not seeing the results you want. And there's a famous business school paradigm, which I hope they get rid of. Well, no, they need to teach it, because I feel like we all kind of do this, which is about, I've come this far, I don't want to abandon this, right? It's sunk cost fallacy. I have sunk this much time, Seven of Pentacles, look at the card title is failure. I've put this much time in it. And it's like seven is like, wow, that's over halfway to the finish line. And I don't want to end it, because I'm really, I have hope that it will still work. But I feel like there's disappointment, and mostly because like the thing that's being dangled isn't ever going to be true. So you might feel like a relationship, like, for example, a lot of people do this. They think that marriage or living together is going to solve the problems. They think that having a baby is going to solve the problems. It actually exacerbates them, right? It's a fallacy. And so more commitment will make this person be the person that I want them to be. More communication, more work on my part, more changing me, more trying to figure it out, more da, da, da. And it's never, ever, this is Taurus energy. And like I was saying, all due respect to Taurus, it's great about safety and security. But the thing that's Taurus is famous for, it's fixed earth. The actual slowest, I mean, I feel like the Knight of Pentacles, which is Virgo, is the slowest knight. That's for sure. The slowest about change, and that's Virgo. But Taurus energy to me has a quality of no before yes. And so some of you may have fallen into this path of, if someone says no, right? Like, I guess in sales, don't they say like every no brings you closer to a yes? And I believe that's true, but not with the same person, or not with the same set of circumstances. Like, what they mean is getting rid of the people who are not aligned with what you want to do. And then you'll eventually find the people who are. And I believe in that. And actually, what I want to say to you is, I feel like how you could harness this growth is you say no. Instead of you being like, okay, well, I gotta find someone who's aligning with or get this person to align with me, or find someone to align with me. It's sort of like, actually, like, you need, there's some wisdom here in not doing it the same way, not trying to seek out external stuff for love, purpose, validation, whatever. It's about the internal stuff. So like kind of saying no to this old pattern of how you've been doing things, and instead moving toward, Archangel Michael here, who's got the potential with the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups, and be like, okay, I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to, and not in terms of trying to win anybody over. I said a long time ago when I was in my own video marketing business, I'm like, convincing, to me, the word convince should be a 4-letter word. Don't try to convince anybody of anything, because really what you're going to get is someone who walks around like this. Prove it, prove it, prove it. Okay. And it doesn't mean that it's not good to prove stuff or be, in curiosity, but that person is not in curiosity. That person is somebody who is a no before a yes. Okay. So what is coming in here, I like the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. This is sort of like asking Archangel Michael, really aligning with the angelic realms, aligning with the divinity, air energy, and being like, okay, because Virgo is fixed, it's an air, it's ruled by Mercury. It's ruled by Mercury. Virgo is a mutable earth sign. So it's changeable. It is changeable. Ruled by Mercury. That's pretty fast. That's really fast for the air signs. And, Virgo has its ability to assess things, because Mercury is like, oh, this or that, this or that. So in this time period, we can say, Virgo is really a support here. Even though Virgo is the south node and you're being asked to go toward the north node, which is Pisces, what happens is you don't cut off Virgo. When you go toward that north node energy in Pisces, personally and you lean into spirit, what opens up is healthier habits, Virgo. Healthier habits, healthier choices, healthier systems. Okay? So this 8 of Wands that's coming in, there's a lot trying to come in. Ace of Swords, another ace. 10 of Pentacles. Me likey, 10 of Cups. We got all the 10s. We got all the 10s. And you're moving away when you embrace that truth. Wow, lovers, when you embrace this truth of what I've been saying here, you can activate this eclipse portal. So a full moon in Pisces, how maybe to work with that? I mean, look at this. Do you love this? A full moon in Pisces says, what is it that you want to create in the world? And being in integrity, being in high vibration, Pisces can help with all of that. Pisces is about like unconditional love. Pisces is about all of that, but not if you're dealing with someone who is a no before a yes, or someone who uses anger all the time, or someone who's toxic or anything like that. This is actively spirit calling you, and spirit saying, you know what, you have to ask us for help. We won't just insert ourselves in your life. So this is the opening gambit, right? The 0 degrees Virgo full new moon that says, what is healthy for you? And how can I embrace that? How can I align with that? If you have subconscious beliefs, oh, I'm not worthy of that. Oh, and which looks like here you might, that's not for me. I have bad luck. Why is fate always happening to me? Why can't I? Why can't I? Why can't I? Why can't I attract money? Why can't I attract love? All these things. This is the time that Virgo says, let's get it straight. Let's set up a new system. Virgo 0 degrees. And let's align with spirit. Full moon in Pisces, 7th of September, right? That's in the middle degrees of Pisces. Let's align with spirit. And let's get rid of those subconscious beliefs. The reason subconscious beliefs are so powerful is that you repeat them to yourself all the time. Oh, I'm not good enough for that. I'm not worthy. And your behavior echoes that. And your manifestations can't happen. So your job is to uproot that stuff. Okay? So if you think about money, what are the beliefs you have about that? What are the things you say to yourself about that? How are you interacting with money in the world? Same with love. Like, how is that going? Really be a detective of your own stinking thinking. Because you're telling yourself stuff. Right? You're telling yourself stuff. And, some people have asked me, which is a really great question in Pathfinders, about, how do I know if it's a subconscious belief? It's subconscious. How do I know? Well, look at your life experience. What has happened with you in money? What has happened with you in love? That comes from somewhere. That comes from experiences that incorporate and indoctrinate and entrench themselves. Now, Virgo, ruled by Mercury, this is a chance to use that same kind of system to tell yourself a different story. Stop telling yourself the lie that you're not worthy of love, that you're not worthy of financial security or success. Stop telling yourself that. Oh, it's just never going to work for me. Stop Eeyoring, okay? Because that is not helping you. And if you feel stupid going, I'm worthy of all this, start to uproot that feeling. Do you feel stupid saying that? Do you feel embarrassed? Do you feel this? That comes from somewhere. Someone made you feel embarrassed about that. Someone made you feel stupid about that. And now you can un. 6 of Wands, I see victory right next to the failure card. So even though this is going to end and it feels difficult for this to end, some of you are ending relationships and that might feel like death, might feel like a big ending, but you win because you're pushing back against a system or a situation that had you in oppression. All right. You're really pushing back against that. Victory, success, right next to it. King of Cups. Cancer energy. There's the Death card. Scorpio energy. The Magician. More Mercury. Three of Cups. Celebration. Find your peeps. Okay? Even if, and this has happened in my last 8 years, that it's become obvious to me that there are people that are not really on my side. And they were some of the closest people to me. And that sucks. But it's better that you recognize it and you move toward the people who really support you and love you and want you to be happy and all of that. All right. So we're going to go deeper into this. This eclipse season is really bringing us an opportunity. So I'm going to look at what we don't see coming. I love the fact that staying in your truth or aligning with your truth is going to help you uproot these beliefs. So let's keep going. Eclipse season 2025, full moon in Pisces, new moon in Virgo. I'll go deeper into this whole thing. All right. Link is below if you want to continue on. I'll see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.